Ours'd, yours'd, theirs'd. Now, if you don't know what those mean, let's dig in deep and learn the contraction with these words. They're crazy. I'm going to give you some examples of contractions you've never heard of in here, so stick right to the end. I've got some crazy versions. So let's do this. The full form of wood is pronounced exactly like wood from a tree. W-O-O-D. Wood. There are two typical issues that people have with this word. The first is that the L is silent. Just act like it's not there, ignore that L, doesn't exist. The second is the pronunciation of the vowel I'll go into some detail in a future video about this vowel, the upsilon sound, as in look, good, and book. But right now, we don't need to because we're gonna learn how to contract the word wood. So the contracted form of wood is d. How awesome is that? You don't even have to worry about that vowel. Let's do some practice. Let's start with his wood. We're going to turn the wood into d. That sounds like his'd, z'd. Kind of transition to a quick d right after. So in the sentence, his would be the best, would sound like his'd be the best painting in the whole class. His'd. This can help you not only understand North American English speakers better, but it can also increase your speed and your fluency and your naturalness as you gain some skills with contractions. Hers would turns to hers'd. Hers'd. Her pies are the best. Hers would win first place for sure. Turns to hers'd. Her pies are the best. Hers'd win first place for sure. Ours would reduces to ours'd. Our to ours'd. Ours'd. So in the sentence, your kids will arrive on time, but ours would be late. Ours'd. Ours'd be late. I think ours would be late. Ours'd. Yours would turns to yours'd. Yours'd. So in the sentence, our dogs would run away, but I think yours would be obedient. Turns to our dogs would run away, but I think yours would be obedient. Theirs would turns to theirs'd. I thought theirs would be the best for sure. I thought theirs'd be the best for sure. Mine would turns to mined. Mined. So the sentence, these shoes are too dainty. Mine would never get through that mud. Mine would turns to mined. These shoes are too dainty. Mine'd never get through that mud. Mined. Who would? Who'd. Who would like to come? Turns to who'd. Who'd like to come? Whoever would turns to whoever'd. Whoever would like to join should say so now. Turns to whoever'd like to join should say so now. Everyone would turns to everyone'd. Everyone'd. So the sentence, everyone would be so happy if you came. Turns to everyone'd be. Everyone'd be so happy if you came. Everybody would, everybody'd. Everybody would join in the celebration if it was Thursday. Turns to everybody'd join in the celebration if it was Thursday. Anyone would turns to anyone'd. Yeah, anyone'd. Anyone would do the same turns to anyone'd do the same. Anyone'd do the same. Don't feel bad. Anyone'd do the same is what you just did. Anybody would, anybody'd. Anybody'd. Anybody would be happy to be there. Turns to anybody'd. Anybody'd be happy to be there. No one would turns to no one'd. No one'd. No one would blame you. No one'd. No one'd blame you. No one'd blame you if you couldn't come. Nobody would turns to nobody'd. Nobody'd. The sentence, nobody would believe that, turns to nobody'd believe that. Someone would turns to someone-id. Someone-id. Someone would do it turns to someone-id. Someone-id do it. Somebody would turns to somebody-id. Somebody-id. Somebody would finish it later turns to somebody-id. Somebody'd finish it later if you left it out. Don't leave it out. Somebody'd finish it. Either would, either'd, either would be fine with me turns to either'd. Either'd be fine with me. Nutella or chips? Either'd be fine with me. Neither would turns to neither'd. Neither'd. So the sentence neither would be a good option turns to neither'd. Neither'd be a good option. It would turns to it'd. The T actually, because it's surrounded by two vowels, ends up turning into a flap T, and that sounds like a D. So instead of it'd, it'd, it'd. It would be a smart idea to bring an umbrella. It'd be a smart idea to bring an umbrella. All right, let's dig in deeper. This would be the best with chocolate sauce turns to this'd. This'd be the best with chocolate sauce. Anything is better with chocolate sauce. That would turns to that'd. The T turns to a flat D. That'd, did, that'd. That would be a great place to go on vacation. That'd be a great place to go on vacation. I wish. Now, if any of these were a surprise to you and you learned even a little bit, press that like button, show me that you liked what I've given you here, and if you don't want to miss out, then definitely subscribe. That way you know for sure you're going to get everything that I throw out to the universe of YouTube. And I don't want you to miss out either. These would turns to these'd. These'd. These would sell out so quickly if they came in blue. Turns to these'd. These'd. These'd sell out so quickly if they came in blue. Those would. Those'd. Those would last about a week, I'd say. Those would last about a week, I'd say. There would turns to there'd. There'd. There would be none left turns to there'd. There'd be none left. And then, of course, there's the ones that everyone typically knows. Let's go through them quickly. I would turns to I'd. I would be honored. I'd. I'd be honored. You would, you'd. You would never believe it turns to you'd. You'd never believe it. He would turns to he'd. He would agree turns to he'd. He'd agree, for sure. She would turns to she'd. She would go if you asked her turns to she'd. She'd go if you asked her. We would turns to we'd, like the mighty dandelion. We'd. We would love to come. We'd. We'd love to come. And they would turns to they'd. They would benefit turns to they'd. They'd definitely benefit from that course. And if you're thinking, you know what, there are so many other things that I just don't know about when it comes to English pronunciation, then you've got a couple options. You can go to my website, you'll see a book, an audiobook, a video course, as well as one-on-one coaching where I work with individuals with a tailored program. Or you can always just subscribe, stick with me here, and I will just keep sharing what I know with you. So I'll see you at the next video and we'll learn so much more. Bye.